Today we talk about cycling during the shutdown. Hello legends and super legends, welcome to Veloharmony. In today's video I want to talk about how we handle the shutdown we're all going through, and they're all different for different parts of the world, and how we keep ourselves sane and healthy. I've done a lot of reading on the different regions of the world and how it affects our sport primarily. And what I wanted to share with you was, for example, in France, I read that they have banned outdoor cycling, recreational cycling. We know already a lot of the professional races have been canceled. A lot of the professional teams took upon themselves to go back home, to Australia. Some of the racing teams that are from there, a lot of the teams are like, we're not going to compete until this race. They made their own decisions to protect their riders and their staff. We have to do something similar. For example, in New York City, even though they have not banned cycling, they recommend that you ride solo if you do ride. In fact, in San Francisco, when they were closing down businesses, they did not list bike shops as an essential business, which it is, because if you're riding a bike and you need repair, just like an automobile shop, it's an essential business. And fortunately, a lot of the local shop owners in San Francisco engaged with the authorities, and they got added to that list. Here in Houston, bike shops are considered to be an essential business, so they're open. But they do specify that when you're in the shop, if you go there for service, keep your distance from the other customers, and they're cleaning the surfaces and different things. So they're doing their best to keep this virus at bay and starve the virus. You can do your part, because being cooped up is not a natural thing. So you can use your trainer, your indoor trainer. You can work out there. Those of you who have Zwift, you can get on there and, get on some group rides that way. Out here, a lot of the groups are following the rules of 6 feet apart and no drafting and so forth. For me, the last week I rode with my mate Paul, because there is a recommendation from the federal government. Our president said 10 groups of 10, and then the CDC still says 50. In other words, don't go hanging out in large groups with people that you really don't know. Even if you know people, keep away from large groups and keep your sanitation high to protect yourself, because you don't want to contract something and you may feel fine, and then you spread it to relatives or other people that may be more susceptible to the disease. So we all have to play our part. So keep that in mind. The bicycle is an essential machine. The good thing right now is that a lot of the areas that are under this so-called self-quarantine, you can get on your bike. The bike has one seat. That's a great thing about it. Go ride solo. Unfortunately for our mates in France, they're not allowed. So you got to pay attention to your local ordinances and what they're allowing you to do and what you can't do. There has been no specific instruction here in the Houston area as to whether we can ride in groups or whatever, but we're making our own judgment. For me, primarily, I do most of my rides alone anyway. And this weekend, I'm going to end up just doing a solo ride because my buddy hurt his back. He's got an issue with his back that's been there for a while. It was under control, and then he threw out what they call throw out your back. And so he's not going to ride. He doesn't want to aggravate it any further than it is. So I will be riding solo, but use your best judgment. And somebody had mentioned on the channel that if I'm riding, sometimes you're riding hard as spittle and so forth. Don't ride that hard to where you're spinning or whatever. If you're around a few of the mates, if you go out with 3 people, don't ride that hard. Make the ride casual. You have to do the best you can to keep this thing from spreading. And so the bicycle is an essential business. I'm glad that they have recognized that, because to tell you the truth, I use my bike more than I use my car. I put more kilometers on my bike than my car. So I even keep my cars on trickle charges for that very reason, because I don't use them that much. So make sure that you don't let yourself get down, because exercise is an endorphin-inducing activity. It gets you a high. So if it's something that you love doing, use that. Get on your trainer. If you're a city like New York has not banned it, but France has. When you ride indoors, find a way to adapt and overcome, because we will get through this. So make sure that you do your best to stay safe. in this time that we're dealing with this outbreak. Okay? So no matter what, get your K's in.